Well, hello there. How are you doing today? Today, I am answering questions about recent DIYs that I just did that you subscribers have been asking me. And when I say asking, these are questions that I got asked a lot. And today, I'm going to answer them. So come on in, let's get started. Yeah, so when I say that these are questions that I got asked a lot, I'm not joking. And these are questions about recent DIYs that I just recently did. First question is, when I repainted my cabinets, did I paint the inside of the cabinets? No, I didn't repaint the inside of my cabinets because I didn't need to, because the inside of my cabinets, oddly, were white. The only part that was wood on my cabinets was the frame of the cabinets, the outside frame. So I did paint the outside frame, but because the inside was white, I could clean it easily and I didn't need to paint it. Had it been wood, I most definitely would have painted it. Another question that I got asked a lot is why I didn't remove the doors from my cabinets when I was repainting them. I didn't remove them because I just didn't want to. That is so much work to remove the doors, and a lot of times when you take them off, they don't go back on the same way. And so it wasn't something I wanted to chance. The hardware was old, so I didn't mind repainting the hardware as well. And honestly, repainting the hardware, it didn't come out looking bad. My doors still came out amazing. I did do the front and the inside of the door. I just didn't take the doors off. Another question that I got asked was, when I repainted my fixtures, a lot of people asked me why I didn't just unscrew my fixtures off of the bathtub. I totally would have done that if I had the capability, but for whatever reason, when these fixtures in my bathtub were put on, they were put on before the cabinets were put on and before the tile was done on the outside of the bathtub. I'm going to say that whoever designed the layout of my bathroom did not take into consideration or account that someday the owners of the house may want to replace the fixtures, because there is a bolt holding the fixtures in that they are screwed to. So there is absolutely no way I could unscrew my fixtures without, one, cutting into the drywall and the cabinets on the inside of my vanity by the bathtub, or two, damaging the tile. And that, again, was just an undertaking that I didn't want to take on. Way too much work. The fixtures are brand new because I rarely use the bathtub, so it was a great alternative to me just to paint them with the Rust-Oleum paint that I used, the oil rubbed bronze. I also got asked why I didn't just tape off around the base of my fixtures instead of using acetone for cleanup. Because taping off around a round fixture with rectangular tape or straight tape, you are using a lot of tape. It is a lot of work, and I just didn't want to put the work in. It was just as much work. I would say it took less time because it really only took me 2 minutes of cleaning up around the base of the fixtures with a paintbrush and acetone versus taking the time to really tape off around the base of the fixtures and that were round. And so, yeah, that wasn't something I wanted to do. It was a headache. And so I opted to just go the route of cleanup and try to apply the paint as neatly and evenly as I could. And yeah, I really didn't mind the cleanup. It cost me maybe $5, one bottle of acetone, to clean up all of the mess on all of my fixtures throughout the house that I did paint. I also got asked if I would give an update on how the paint, the spray paint, held up on the fixtures using them every day. In that video, I did show my kitchen sink. My kitchen sink, I painted the gooseneck fixture about 8 months ago, and it held up perfectly. I use my kitchen sink more than I use my bathroom sink. I probably use my kitchen sink several times a day, and it held up perfectly. minus the paint splatter that did get on the fixture from me cleaning my paintbrushes in my stainless steel sink, it held up perfectly. I did do a touch-up and I did repaint it because it wasn't oil rubbed bronze. It was more of a brush bronze, I think it was. And so I did repaint it, but did it ever chip? No, it did not, because I did seal it with the polyurethane. And that was another question that I got asked is, why didn't I seal it? I did seal it in that video with polyurethane and it worked perfectly. It held up perfectly. And so if I get another 2 or 3 years out of these fixtures, perfect. If I have to replace them at some point, fine. If I have to sand them down, buff them off, and repaint them in 3 or 4 years, then so be it. That's what I'll do. I don't really mind doing it. As long as the fixtures are still in good condition and working, I'll do it because I like to DIY and I want to get the most life out of these fixtures without having to replace them, because that comes at a cost versus the $12 I paid for the can of spray paint. I will tell you that when I do a lot of DIYing around my house, is the execution on point and completely correct? It probably isn't, but it's the way I do it. I am not somebody who does a lot of taping off. I am somebody who would rather not tape off and have a sponge or a washcloth next to me, and if I drip a little bit, then I just wipe it up and clean it up, because it takes time to tape off. Is that the right way to do it? Sure it is. But I have a very steady hand and I am good with a paintbrush, so I don't have a lot of cleanup when I do clean up, and you will see that here in a couple of weeks when I post these videos of repainting my house and all the things that I did. I always try to find alternative ways of doing things that are going to cut down on the time and you're still going to get the best outcome. If you are somebody who likes to tape off and do it that way and paper things off, I say do it if you've got the patience for it. I absolutely do not have the patience because I want to see the outcome and I want to get the job done. And luckily, I've never had any major mishaps. And the mishaps I have had, well, then I guess I have nobody to blame but myself. I have also been asked if I would do a DIY on painting countertops. Now, I will tell you that when I originally did my guest bathroom cabinets, and they turned out that buttery yellow, and I absolutely hated them. They clashed with my countertops. Instead of redoing them, I had attempted to paint the countertops. First and foremost, when I started painting the countertops, I didn't like the way it looked. I feel like when you paint over tile, it cheapens the look. And so I didn't want to take away from the quality and the look of the tile. But I also wasn't super happy with the cabinet color. And I didn't want to change the countertops and the tile when I wasn't happy with the cabinet color. That buttery yellow was horrendous. I wasn't super happy with the distressing. I went super heavy-handed on it. And so, yeah, it was just, to me, it was easier and better just to sand over what I had done and redo the cabinets. And I'm glad that I did, because the color I ended up going with was such a perfect color that I did it to the cabinets throughout my entire house. When I chose the color of the cabinets in my guest bathroom, or re-chose the color of those cabinets in my bathroom, I did take into account the granite countertops that I have in my kitchen. I have black granite countertops that I've never really been super happy with, but granite is a great stone. It is a very durable stone. It is a very forgiving stone, and it is a very expensive one. And so again, that was not something that I wanted to tear out and redo, because it was going to mess up the backsplash in my kitchen, and I was going to have to put in a new sink and a new faucet. Never mind what it might do to the cabinets that they are on top of. And so when choosing the paint color for the cabinets, I did also choose a color that was going to make the black granite countertops in my kitchen stand out and really bring life back to them again. And I feel like the color that I chose by Apple Barrel did just that. And yes, I did. I chose my cabinet color based on paint that I had in my garage. I pulled out all of my Apple Barrel paints in those neutral beige colors, and I actually painted some on my countertops because I wanted to see what was going to go best with my bathroom counter, those tiles, and I wanted to get as close to those tile colors as I could. And I also wanted something, again, that was going to go with my granite countertops. And I think that this color that I chose by Apple Barrel did just that. Took it into Lowe's and asked them if they could color match it. They did just that using a chalk paint that is perfect for furniture. And yeah, I love it. Another question that I get asked a lot is an update on how my cabinets in my guest bathroom have held up being done with chalk paint. Yes, I did use chalk paint, but I also sealed that chalk paint with wax. Once you seal a chalk paint with wax and you give it the 24 to 36 hours to cure, it is completely sealed, and it actually has a very hard finish to it. It is not a finish that you can actually scratch off with your nail, or a finish that's going to come off if you take a rag with a non-abrasive soap and wipe it down. They have held up perfectly. There are no scratches, there are no chips in it, and they look just as great today as they did 4 months ago when I did them. Yeah, so those there are the answers to the questions that I have been asked. I hope those of you who asked me these questions that you are seeing this video and you are able to hear the answers to your questions. Until next time, everybody, you're going to want to stay tuned for more of my DIY home updates and everything that I'm doing to our house. It really does feel like a new house, and it feels like a home that we are making for ourselves, a new home that we are ready to create new memories in, and we're really just making this house our home. Until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, you know what I'm going to say. Stay positive, please, because I am. Bye for now, everybody.